Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show where we believe ads are not bad, ignorance is expensive, and the American dream is alive and well on the internet today. It is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. We're brought to you by Instant Seguno, Postscript, and AMP, and we have a jam-packed show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Comfrt, D2C darling, and perhaps the fastest growing internet Shopify brand that has ever to existed, is being sued by Realtree. And this begs the question, is there any camo pattern out there that is safe? We are going to dive into it. Spotify has now rolled out carousel DPA ads. Are they getting serious about performance marketing? I definitely hope so. And Amazon's deck for Rufus AI and the sponsored ads that will be available on them has been leaked, and methinks there's an interesting story there to be had. We're going to have Geiss, CEO of Seguno, with us, Brandon Maskell, CRO and digital products at Reef, and Adil Mania of Silicon Mania and large language movies, who consistently goes viral with all things AI generated in the tech space. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get inside this show. Get in here. Get in here.
I just ripped an Audi. I can't feel my face right now.
You ripped an Audi, and I am ripping Kirks like water, my friend. 70 cents energy in a can, and we are glad to be back. One of the fastest growing DC brands that has literally ever existed got hit with a lawsuit, and it raises a question. Can you own a vibe? Can you own a camo pattern specifically? This tweet comes to us, this thread from Robert Friend. Hope I'm saying that right, Robert, who is coming on the show. And he had this to say: Comfrt was sued today by Realtree. If you don't know Realtree, I don't think you have ever driven or traveled into the southern United States, a business that designs and licenses camouflage patterns to more than 850 businesses. Realtree says Comfrt stole its camo patterns and intentionally removed the Realtree copyright management information embedded in them. A little further down, next tweet, Realtree says its places source identifying information throughout its camouflage patterns, but Comfrt removed it. This is the next tweet here, Jack. And there's evidence there. I don't know how good it is, but this is at least what they're claiming. Next tweet, Realtree also targets Comfort's brand ambassador program and identified 174 examples of allegedly infringing social ads. Now, what these social ads are they're just the product inside of the ad. Okay, they got a pink version, they got a camo version. Everybody loves all of them. And then there is a link for people to see. I'm not a huge fan of people getting sued, but people had a lot to say. Heather Roberts had this to say in the comments What's more incredible is that there is a large enough market for this pattern that someone would want to steal it. Heather, you are unaware. You are unaware. This camo has been blowing up and everybody loves it and it's going to the moon, especially Comfort's style of camouflage. Well, we won't say it is the exact same as Realtree's. Dom had this to say: they could literally have used AI and made hundreds of hillbilly camo designs. Pathetic. Laugh out loud. Dom, you are unaware, sir. There are more people that sport camo every day other than the hillbillies. And next, Sean had this to say. Sean M. Deneen: I also leaked the pattern to some deers. Nice. So the industry is cooked regardless. Bringing us back here, Colin, not a big fan of this. I wonder if Realtree could claim this about a ton of people. Comfort's got a lot of wind at their back right now because they are literally everywhere. They have utilized the TikTok blitz strategy to the extreme in the most positive way. And everybody and anybody is wearing their sweater sets with the fold down eyelids, so comfy, makes one want to sleep and feels like you are wrapped inside a blanket anywhere and everywhere. I don't love to see this. It makes me wonder, is any camo pattern safe? I don't know how rife the apparel industry is with court cases, potential suits like this, but I don't like it. Your thoughts, my friend?
Chris, there's a quote where it is: winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. And that's exactly what's happening here. That's exactly what's happening here. This is so unbelievably lame. They need to stick to their lane. They need to know what they know. Comfort, it doesn't even matter. You're having a lawsuit because you think you're having a lawsuit and you want to do one and make some news and maybe throw some PR to your business. Comfort's doing all the things right. They're crushing. Nothing can stop them. Don't ever think that this is going to be in any way a thorn in their side. They're going to breeze right through this. And Realtree, maybe you should focus on your own business instead of focus on somebody else's. And maybe you'd have a better P&L.
Yeah, for those who aren't aware, Realtree is like an OG in the hunting space and outdoor space. I remember watching their founder, Bill Jordan, last name looks like Jordan, pronounced Jordan. I remember watching him every Saturday as my dad would watch on Saturday morning. I'm watching cartoons. He's watching hunting and fishing shows. I remember seeing Bill Jordan and doing his thing. And it's just always the narration of Realtree, Realtree, Realtree. Great camo, by the way. Great. I had the question, like, how big is Realtree in connection with how big is Comfrt? Not that they are connected, but I just had to wonder because of what you are saying here. Not that Realtree is a loser, but Comfrt is obviously winning. I think their founder just went on the 9 operators and said they're going to reach $1 billion in revenue generated this year, which is significant to say the least. Okay. If you're measuring yourself in B's instead of M's, instead of K, you're doing some fair winning. Google says this. I just asked, how much money does Realtree make a year? Realtree licenses its camo patterns to partners who sell an estimated $4 billion in branded products annually. While the licensed sales volume is immense, Realtree itself operates as a licensing and marketing entity with estimated annual revenue of approximately $16 million to $23.3 million. Key details: licensing model: Realtree acts as a licensor, placing its pattern on over 30,000 products, including apparel, hunting gear, vehicle accessories. Company rev ranging from 16 to 23, founded in 1986 by Bill Jordan. Georgia-based company, has a relatively small workforce of approximately 70 to 90 employees. So obviously not doing bad themselves. Okay, they've been in business for several years, making about 20 mil a year, one would estimate, at least Google would. But you have to wonder if this is perhaps in lieu of, hey, this pattern looks a lot like ours. We genuinely think it's ours. What we don't want is more billion-dollar companies growing up on the internet over 18 to 24 month spans, selling something that looks exactly like ours, or at least similar enough that perhaps there's legal precedent to shut it down, and let's not get monies for that. I wonder if that's behind it. I would think they genuinely believe that their pattern has been stolen, but they're probably looking ahead and saying, man, Comfrt is doing so much money with this. We should have some of that mashugana. We deserve it. We don't want this thing to happen again in some other place, because apparently we've got a winner on our hands for people outside of the hunting community. Is that fair?
That's fair. I think this is a lot like the old man yells at clouds meme, where it's like Realtree, you just got to focus on your own business. Like, just focus on your own business.
Are
This
they
is
though?
such-
I mean, maybe they are.
I just don't think this just has teeth to actually be a viable lawsuit. I could be totally wrong here, but you're doing 16, $20 million. You're trying to sue somebody who's coming up. They've done close to $1 billion at this point, doing a ton of different patterns. The focus should not be on let's sue as many people doing different patterns. The focus of the business should be we need to find more partners to sell patterns to.
Wow. I mean, and I hear your point there, and I agree with this. I just searched Comfrt, which has an interesting spelling, no O, no second O.
Yeah.
Of the first 6 products Google shows me, and maybe it's because I already, searched for camo, but of the first 6 products it shows me, 4 have a camo pattern and a, what Realtree would call a Realtree-esque camo pattern. I don't know of their product marketing mix, like how much does camo really do? I mean, it is on their pop-up. I will say it's gas. And I love Comfort's use of it. And as someone who grew up wearing camouflage and spending time in the outdoors, where opposite of what some of the commenters on X have declared, camo is a little more necessary and regularly worn in places outside of the city centers. I'm a big fan of seeing Comfrt blow this up. I love this trend. It's got a lot of Americana to it, outdoor. Even if one doesn't wear it outdoors, to me it pulls at a piece of nostalgia that's deep back there in my brain. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But I hope Comfrt gets it figured out, in the sense that they don't get a lot of monies taken away from them. Maybe Realtree has a case. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see it play out in the course. Do you think it goes to court actually, or do you think they settle outside? You don't think
They settle outside. It's going to be all done. But camo's cool again, folks. Camo's cool again.
Camo is cool again. And there are a number of companies that people should look at. If they doubt this, you should go look at Burley Bow. Started right here in the Hill Country by a friend of mine that I played football with. His camo patterns, specifically his duck camo patterns. There are different camo patterns for those who don't know. Specifically, his duck camo pattern has been blowing up. And if you work in apparel, or if you want to crush it in apparel, you should look into a camouflage pattern. Now, we have an esteemed guest coming to us right now, but before he comes, we should do a little ad read here, and we should talk about Seguno. Ladies and gentlemen, Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. What does that mean, Chris? That means your emails, your pop-ups, your banners, your reviews, it's all there where you already work and play. And that's important because it means you don't have to trust in some duct tape together integration that you hope is genuinely syncing your data and your segmentation back and forth. This is email 3.0. Okay, your Shopify data is your email data. And this is the reason why they won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. Okay, one-click automations, actual humans that can help you. They have just released the advanced Shopify segmentation playbook. You should go to that URL, seguno.com/advanced-shopify-segmentation-playbook. Get that bad boy today. And even better news, we have CEO Chris Geiss coming to us right now. Many thanks for Seguno being part of the show. Now, coming inside of this show right now, we have an OG in the email game who, when he last joined us, there was so much more there to squeeze out,
Yeah.
especially on the data side. And he is coming to talk with us today about a unique, I would say, too little known tool that is used by all of the big boys inside of our game. I'm talking about the one and only CEO and co-founder of Seguno, Chris Geiss. Chris, get in here. Get in here. No, Chris.
Ellen, so good to see you.
Good to see you, sir. We had to get you back here, my friend. And no pop-up out of the bottom of the screen today.
I was ready for it.
But
I was ready for it this
debating
time.
whether to do it again, but my timing on the last one, especially the exit, was just too perfect. I felt like I'd ruin it if I tried it again.
yeah, no reason,
Lighting in
no
a
reason
bottle.
to play it out. Exactly.
Exactly.
No reason to play it out. Chris, when you were here last, you had so much left in the tank on the data side where I would really love to take this today. I'd love to talk about the bulk discount bot that is used, I mean, by so many, especially of the biggest inside of our game, Viore, Pilla, Chubby, Steve Madden, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you keep naming them and everybody's using it. But I think too few people know that you developed it. I think too few people know. And man, I would love to just start from here, man. What is it? And why is it crucial to the Shopify ecosystem? Why are so many 9-figure plus brands on top of it, using it every day and in every way inside of their marketing campaigns?
Yeah, great question. So yes, we are known more for our marketing platform, but we actually developed this bulk discount code bot app before email. So back in 2017 was when we released this app. And yeah, it's grown tremendously over the years and used by the biggest brands across Shopify, like you said. And it's all about unique discount codes. And so it enables you to run these promos using unique codes across channels and then analyze its performance. And so, we all know generic codes are bad for business. They get leaked.
Yeah.
People use it who are already going to buy it. You don't know which channel or campaign's working, and your brand starts to feel cheap, right? Like that's the toughest one that is hard to come back from, and where people are just expecting to use a discount. And so, unique discounts is the answer. It solves all those things.
I would just, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Colin, but I would just push back a little bit on this, Chris. I think maybe we know, like, oh yeah, personalized the best, but it's just kind of forgotten about. It's like, yeah, it'd be better if I, set up the thing, but I just throw it out there and get. I mean, am I wrong? I feel like there's too little attention paid to this, and the benefits that you brought out there, being able to measure what is actually working. Is it that campaign? Is it that pop-up? Is it that affiliate? And being able to verify that across this campaign, across what you're doing with this person, et cetera. I mean, being able to measure that and actually see and not have it leaked out on the internet. This is a big thing that more people need to be paying attention to. I mean, that's my thought. Is that fair, Colin?
Oh, that's one of the biggest things that I've seen time and time again, where people will basically leak these things out. They'll share them with all of their friends, and you get none of that data whatsoever. And also, they get leaked out to affiliate sites, and then you don't even know the source of any of that. And so it just becomes an absolute tracking nightmare. I'm a tracking nerd, but it becomes a tracking nightmare where you actually don't know. And then the one-off generation of uniqueness is super helpful because it basically is a one-on-one attribution. Getting into the nerd stuff.
Chris, nerd out for us and just tell us specifically use cases. I mean, I'll just say one that I know just from my own practice. When inside of a pop-up or a welcome flow, whenever somebody gets a personalized code, conversion rate much better, more money, profit back in my pocket rather than just welcome 10 or whatever it is. How are people using it? How are people using it today? What are the use cases? Where do they deploy it?
Yeah, across the board. Those life cycle touch points, like you mentioned, through automations, welcome, post-purchase, abandonment, getting into loyalty, things like lapsed purchasers, win back, different channels. We're talking email, SMS, direct mail, support. Customer support is actually a really important use case for our merchants.
Yeah.
And we improve your workflow even more there. We've got a gorgeous integration that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's across the board, and it's attribution is really important these days, especially.
Could you talk a little bit about, because it's no small number how many discount codes you've analyzed. It's 117 million you have analyzed. Could you give us of stores that are at risk for risky active codes? Could you give us that percentage?
Yes, yeah. So we did this risk audit, and you can actually run it for your own shop. But we analyzed 117 million discount codes, and 98% of those 26,000 shops had a long or completely missing expiration date. Like
Really?
that's a really important one. Where it's either never expired. The average was 2.5 years for these discount codes. Then you've got nearly 3/4 of them don't have any product limits. So all collections, all products, everything is on sale with these codes. More than 2/3 had no like customer targeting. And then there's other things that we look at, like, do you have a bunch of 100% off discount codes hanging around? Are you limiting your redemptions per order with buy X, get Y? Do you have maximums on your free shipping? So yeah, there's all these different aspects that you can configure within Shopify to protect yourself, but so few people actually do it.
That is so all the things that you just enumerated, there's a ton of things that I wasn't even thinking about there. But it rings true for me just based on the amount of Shopify stores that I've been in. There's always like a few codes in there that are hanging around where a Johnny can get his free 100% off coupon forever. And, there's like something that was never turned off that was specifically designed for last Black Friday that, some influencer still has access to, etc. But you've got time. It's unending. You've got products. This applies to everybody. You've got your customers. Hey, this one's still applying to everybody. I mean, that's crazy. And 98% of the stores that you evaluated came up with this kind of thing.
Yeah, 98% were like missing expirations. Yeah.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow.
I mean, you also never want to have that 100% off coupon code just floating out in the ether ever. I know I've had that where I was like, how did this get out? I shouldn't be sending this to people, but I sometimes will. You send it to friends and family, and then they share it, and then maybe they share it. And then all of a sudden you're like, I think 40 people have this code now. We need to do something about this.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Tell me this, Chris. I mean, this sounds like, and I'll just preface this with my own thoughts. A lot of times, especially when it comes to email, I will just say categorically, so many times I just consider or have seen the attribution to be messy, untrustworthy, just frankly. It's over attributed, all of the things, which I think is something unique about what you guys do inside of Shopify, and that you don't have to trust. You don't have to over trust. You know what I mean? You can trust because it's verifiably there. But it sounds like what you guys have done with the bulk discount bot is that you've neatly integrated with whatever somebody's using, whether you're using Gorgeous, using Klaviyo. You're kind of like spanning the gap there, and it kind of bringing something unique to the ecosystem that people can use regardless of what platform they're on.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. Yeah. Regardless of what platforms you're using, you can just download a CSV and send it over. We've got a seamless sync over to Klaviyo and auto replenish codes and things. So, if you're running an automation through Klaviyo, and once those start to get assigned and depleted, we'll automatically replenish those. And it enables you to use all the discount types that Shopify has to offer, because the built-in discount creation with Klaviyo only has a couple of basic types there.
Wow. Tell me about this, Chris. When I think about kind of opening up not Pandora's box, but a really positive box. When I kind of think about opening up the box here on being able to genuinely evaluate who is using what discount where, and what kind of reporting does that look like? Are people thinking about AOV? Are they thinking about, like what's my average like discount like for this cohort, or what does that kind of increased reporting capability look like? How are people using that?
Yeah, so within the app, you can see things like redemptions, sales, AOV, that sort of thing. And then we also allow you to, split by things like campaign, channel, department, which is actually starts to become more important with some of these really big brands because they've got budgets for different departments and things, and so they're kind of tracking that. But yeah, so you can analyze things from all those different angles, and then you can do some stuff with Shopify's built-in reporting as well. And so we kind of walk you through some of those things.
Well, this I find unique because I thought that you would have to use some other capability to actually report here, but you guys have you've got native reporting capabilities there inside. I find that to be very
Yep.
unique.
And there's controls too, like around the data. So like if you want to require that everyone who on your team comes in to create this discount, they have to provide a campaign and a channel and a department, those types of things, so that you're getting that surrounding data, and we're enforcing the fact that this user has to provide that when they're creating the discount.
Very unique. Very unique.
One of the things that stood out in the benchmark report that you guys did was that Shopify Plus stores actually discount way more than normal standard Shopify stores,
That stood out to me.
especially with affiliates and seasonality. You would think if you're just talking to a guy on the street, it'd be flipped. But it seems like it's completely the opposite case. Can you talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah. So one interesting point on that one was they're 6 times more likely to use buy X get Y. And that one, everybody should be using that more. Like, it doesn't deplete the brand, right? Like, you're getting people to buy into something at full price. You get something else that you're potentially, just trying to get rid of. They see it as a gift, potentially even more important than like a percentage off, builds that brand. That one people should be using more. But the higher level concept here is that they're discounting more because they're discounting smarter. And Becky Chambers from Caddis is one of our customers that we talk to all the time, and she talks about discounts being an investment. It's not a demand lever, it's an investment. And when you're strategic about these things, you actually end up discounting more over time, but you're just way more efficient.
Okay, we've got to dive into that. Okay, so what does discounting smarter look like? I think this is the principle here. I think needs to be strengthened. That Shopify Plus brands, for those who don't know, that means bigger brand. They're paying Shopify more per month. Okay, bigger brand. They're discounting more, which is contrary to the common concept. Oh, hey, I got to protect my brand. We're premium. I never offer a discount. All of the things. But what does discounting smarter as an investment look like practically, tactically?
They discount all the time. You just don't see it. That's where you're talking about these more one-to-one interactions where you're giving a unique code to someone when they do something or maybe don't do something. You're not just plastering these generic codes all over your site and things like that. So it's about targeted, segmented discount codes, and then being smart about those protections that I mentioned that you can identify with the risk audit. And then you got to calculate things like efficiency, so you can actually determine, did this discount work well for us or not? Is it worth trying to scale this discount? Is it worth trying to experiment with it on different channels or different segments?
I want to hear about that, because I'm admitting my own lack of knowledge here, but I don't think I have ever calculated the efficiency of a discount. I mean, have you, Colin? I have never. I mean, what does that look like? What does that mean?
I've just done it off vibes.
Yeah, just vibes. Just vibes, baby. Number go up, we do it more. Talk to us about that.
That's the reality of it, right? Like, people are busy. They just want to get a discount out. They want to try to boost some sales. but those are the tactics that actually hurt your brand. So when you're smart about it, it's brand enhancing, right? So on the efficiency side, Becky, we worked with Becky to create this playbook for how she thinks about discounting, for how she calculates efficiency, and kind of what she goes through every quarter for her discounting strategy. And that's just up on our blog, so you can check that out. But efficiency for her, she calculates it as net sales divided by the discount amount.
Okay.
So you take full price, subtract discount, subtract returns, that sort of stuff, and divide it by the discount amount. And so she's looking for at least 3x on that.
I
For
see.
her brand, it's going to vary by brand. You got to figure out what works for you. But if she doesn't see at least 3x, then she moves on. But if she sees something 3 or greater, she starts experimenting and scaling it to other channels, to other segments, and seeing how big you can really drive this discount.
Chris, where were these formulas when we were scaling stores? Like, you know what I mean? You can't just like search the internet and find this, and then it's like, oh yeah, do this, and then it's like, oh, it's obviously this is the Shopify scaling playbook. I pulled that out. I've never had this.
That's why this show must exist. It's why
exactly
it exists.
There we go.
I would say, last time I was fully brand side. I've consulted a lot since then, but last time I was fully brand side at Bruce Bolt, we had a premium brand inside of our space. We almost never discounted. I mean, almost never. But this brings up a really good point in that there are ways to do it that are smart, that don't leave you or leave potential customers with the feeling like, oh, this is like a cheap brand that always has the price struck through. And, there's a 30% discount somewhere if I just abandon cart, all of those things. I really like this principle of buy X, get Y. This was one thing that we experimented with, especially during Black Friday, was there is a certain product that we never wanted to discount. Just to have it up there. But how could we still offer value that gives people a great deal and enlarges AOV and makes the most of the moment? And so I really like this approach about specializing, personalizing, and finding like hidden ways to offer value, read efficiency on the backside, and then continue to experiment and grow from there. It seems like a way to maintain brand value, premiumness at the same time, while smartly leveraging all the tools that you have in your toolkit. I like this.
100%.
Tell me, go ahead, Colin.
Well, I just thought it was interesting that as part of that report, the top discount percentage was not 10%. It was actually 20%. And so I think we're starting to see a shift in consumer behavior where that 10% is no longer cutting it.
No.
So brands have to start thinking about this. And it's interesting that you found that in the report. And I'm thinking that brands are going to start to experiment with this more aggressively and have to kind of bake this into the product, so to speak. Could you talk a little bit about, these top kind of discounts that you're seeing inside of the report?
Yeah. So 20% was number 1, 10% was number 2, and then was 3 there. So yeah, a little counter to what you would think, but and these are like good places to start. These are looking at what's most popular. This data doesn't show you exactly like what's converting the best or what's the most efficient or things like that. So that's part of what we're hoping to get a little bit more into with our next benchmark report that we're just starting to work on now. So that one should be really, really interesting. But yeah, it's you have to. 10% doesn't quite ring like it used to.
It doesn't for me.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
People just expect at least that, and so you have to. Again, that's where being smart about how you approach these things, because some brands like they'll think, oh, I've got a 40% margin, I can run a 20% discount anytime, no problem. But you can still end up underwater with some of that stuff, between fulfillment, between CAC, between depending on the different products that you may not have intended for someone to buy with it. So you just have to really think through your promos more than people do.
I like this too when I think about, okay, like there's multiple layers here. It's what can I get away with? What's juicy on the front side when I want to get people across the line initially. But then a little more nuanced is, let's say, personalized code, specific cohort. Let's say somebody has made their first purchase. What can I do for this category that they bought? What can I incentivize with what product? Buy X again, get Y, or you tried this. Let me entice you with that product in a different category that I'm also selling
Yes.
with this margin. And it's like getting multifaceted and multi-layered here, cohort specific, product specific, et cetera. That's where there's unrealized yields that I think something like you guys are analyzing and enabling, it allows people to go forward, put more profit back into their pocket. Is that fair?
Yes. Don't discount deeper, discount smarter.
I like that. That's a bar. That's a bar.
That's a
Don't
bar.
discount
That's a
deeper,
bar.
discount smarter. But tell me this, Chris. Okay, so we've got a number of things that we've hit here. Number one, I think biggest takeaway for me is I want to get in there and see how risky I am. I need to hit the risk audit.
Yep.
I'm sure you've got a link for that. I think we should clip this tomorrow and we should include that link, Colin.
Absolutely.
And then beyond that, you've got the 2026. Sounds like we got a new discounting report coming out. When does that come to us, Chris? When is that going to be available?
Should be before the end of Q2 there. So we're working on it now. A month or two probably.
Okay, awesome. And then on the blog, we've got insight on Caddis and how they are discounting not deeper but smarter. And so we've got some playbook on that side as well.
Becky is one of a kind. So learn from the best. Check out her playbook on our blog, and just install bulk discount code bot to run that free audit. See how risky you are.
And available in the Shopify App Store. We go find it.
It is,
and it's excellent.
Nice.
Excellent.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Chris, man, we appreciate you for making the time and joining us. Go ahead.
I don't want to leave you guys empty-handed though. Though we just put a couple things on the plate, but should we give you guys a discount? I'm talking about discounts.
That would feel right. That would feel.
It's only fitting.
Complete, full circle.
Yes, it's only fitting. What's the discount?
I understand the irony of this, but if you use the code Cowboy.
All right. We'll take that. We'll
give you a nice discount. What do you guys want?
I don't know. What's appropriate here?
The top percentage off is 20%. So
that's pretty steep. That's pretty steep. We got to talk with the man.
All right. How many months you want 20% off for?
I feel like 30, 60 days. 30 days should get you in the door. 60 days seems a little generous, but I don't know. We are pretty generous here. Chris, you seem like a generous guy. What do you think?
That sounds good to me. You want 20% for 2 months? We'll do that.
All right. Awesome. I dig that. Chris, you are the GOAT, my friend. You are the GOAT. See, I love that surprise here at the end. Brother, we hey,
thank you guys.
I tell you what, we got to update. We got to get people the link for that tomorrow too. We will update that. We appreciate you coming on and making the time and joining us, brother. And we look forward to having you again, man.
Talk to you soon, guys.
That feels right,
It feels right. It does. It definitely feels right. Okay, next we have an operator who has worked with TaylorMade, Titan brands, and now he is at Reef doing big things, doing very big things. But before he comes, ladies and gentlemen, we should talk about PostScript. PostScript. When you focus on any one thing, you get outsized results, don't you? Yeah, you do. And that is what is incredible about PostScript. I know right now you've got some solution that does 6 or 7 things all at one time, but when you obsess over one thing and one thing only, you get outsized results. And that's why when people make the switch to PostScript, they see a plus 22% increase in SMS revenue. Now, I didn't see that. I saw a lot more. It's simply because I did what they said and what they recommended. We became a top 1% account on their entire platform inside of a year. Now, one thing that you should do that they are now enabling is you should go and get the conversational report direct to consumer.co/the conversational report. There is money to be made inside of your account. And it's happening right now when people text you back and you leave them on red, or even worse, send them an auto response. Their AI shopper is allowing you to have genuine conversations with your customers at scale and mine all of that juicy data, which is the new gold in the AI era. Go and work with PostScript. Tell them that Colin and I sent you. Many thanks for PostScript being part of the show. Now, I think this is a great point that Chris brought up, is that the biggest Shopify brands, they are actually discounting more. And this was a big no-no. This was a big no-no in our industry forever. That's like small boy stuff. Discounting is small boy stuff. You're a peon. You don't belong in the successes of the multiplying of figures. You'll never be bought someday. All of the things. I think this is a great point that Chris is bringing out here, is that actually the most successful Shopify brands in our space, they are discounting more. In fact, much more than anybody else is. This is very interesting.
Groon's welcome code is 46% off. Marsmen, who just raised a boatload of money yesterday, their welcome code is 50% off. IM8, their welcome code, I believe, is 40% off as well. So people are trying to get the data as quickly as possible into these pop-ups and welcome series, because the data is the most important thing.
I find that fascinating. Of course, those are all supplement brands, and I know we all wish we had started a supplement brand 10 years ago. I do think that there is something to learn, though, for everybody who is not selling gummies. I think there's a lot to learn from the supplement brands because they are so innovative on the front end. It's like, what can I offer? How can I get people value? What can I afford? What's my LTV? All of the things. And then they bake that in and continually test that front side offer whenever people get into the door. I think there's a lot to consider there across our industry, apparel, et cetera, across the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, the whole thing with this entire strategy is the LTV has to work. The math has to work for all of this. So we're not saying to you to blanket discount 50% off if the math of your store does not work. You have to know the own metrics of your store to see if you can actually, eat that margin. But if you can, there's some gains to be had here.
Gains to be had. And I think this is a great principle. Don't discount deeper, discount smarter. Yeah. And, doing that in a nuanced way across cohort, product, category, et cetera, being able to come back with an efficiency score. Did this do well for us? Can we scale this? How should we continue to test? That kind of specificity, I think is goated. And it's what we all need. Absolutely. Now, coming into the show right now is an OG inside of our space who has worked with some of the largest household name brands, especially if you're on the golf side, or if you just like hanging out on the beach, spending a little time out there. I am talking about the one and only Brandon Maskell, who is head of digital product and CRO at Reef. Brandon, we need you inside of the show. Get in here, sir. Get in here, Brandon.
Look at that. How's it going, guys?
Oh, boy.
I did not realize we were going straight into it, but the intro was good, so I guess I'm hyped up for this.
Yeah, well, we're hyped up too. You're there out in the wild, and you've got this beautiful setting behind you here, Brandon. Man, we appreciate you making the time and joining the show, sir.
No worries.
Brandon, you've got your background at TaylorMade, you've got your background at Titan Brands, and right now you're with Reef, which is one of the coolest brands alive for me. I first became aware of Reef when I was in college, and there was that sandal that you could open the bottle with, you know, it's
Huge.
got the bottle opener, which was
Huge.
groundbreaking for college students everywhere. Man, tell us.
Still is.
It's still here. Yeah, exactly. Still here and still doing what it does. Man, tell us, man, of all your tours of duty, man, how have things been going at Reef? How is it different than working in golf and all the other spaces that you've worked in before?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think definitely a lot more fashion forward. You know, like in fitness equipment, for example, durable goods. Generally, people buy those things to last for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Whereas with sandals and shoes, we're hoping to sell you multiple pairs of those a year. TaylorMade, obviously, very much about kind of performance and technology and
I think we lost him.
Lost him just for a moment. He's back.
you guys there?
Oh, Brandon, you're back.
Yeah,
He's back.
sorry about that. I don't know what happened. No, what I was saying was with TaylorMade, I mean, their marketing's really around, you know, the best of the best athletes, right? So it's kind of like a Nike story where you have really, really well-known athletes. They play the product because they play the product. You should. It'll make your game better. Yeah, and then Reef's obviously a lot more kind of in the fashion space. So what's interesting with Reef is, you know, what you guys are talking, the era you're talking about, it was a kind of a hardcore surf brand, and it's transitioned into much more of a fashion brand specifically, with a ton of happy, you know, female customers making a lot of kind of style sandals and then recently shoes. So if you haven't tried the shoes yet, definitely get out there, get a pair of the Del Mars for you guys. Crazy comfortable, obviously the same style and beach aesthetic that you're used to. So good stuff. Yeah, Reef is doing great.
A lot more vibes when you're selling
Yeah.
when you're selling fashion.
The word vibe is used a lot more here than other brands.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Now, Brandon, my knowledge of you is that you have a particular set of skills in the Liam Neeson, you know, kind of taken way, especially when it comes to CRO. That is your reputation that comes with you.
It's good to know.
Man, tell me this: when you enter a new brand, like you've been at Reef, you're in the seat for about a year now, and when you start working with a new brand, you're looking at a website. What's your weapon of choice? You know, what tools are coming to you? What do you want to test CRO wise first? And then, you know, what comes to mind first? What are you looking for? What's the playbook? Are there phases? What's that look like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I actually got kind of my start in the space at TaylorMade, and then I mean, it's been probably 7-8 years in the space now. Yeah, I mean, I think the tools have changed. So I've used everything from Hotjar, Lucky Orange, enterprise tools like Quantum Metric. Today, there's Clarity that's free, right? So I think most brands I work with today are on Shopify. Unless you have a specific person team that's going to be in the tool all day, I don't really see why you would pay for Clarity better and better. Clean is still the only Shopify tool that actually gives you visibility into checkout. So that's obviously a huge bonus. But yeah, I mean, I think today it's changing a lot because there's all these AI tools that are kind of attempting to, you know, do the hard work, which at the end of the day, testing the hard work is coming up with ideas that are relevant and that are going to move the needle. That takes time and effort, which is, you know, both quantitative, qualitative, consumer research. So, you know, you work with Clarity and some of these tools, they can kind of give you kind of the on-site behavior, but then you also have the other side of it, which is understanding how consumers think, right? So that comes from surveys, post-purchase surveys, you know, focus groups, and really just the hard work of actually talking to consumers and understanding how they tick and understanding what is actually going to motivate them. So that's step one, is doing that hard work. And then from there, synthesizing that into ideas, which then becomes you know, the process of actually doing things in the right way, following best practices in terms of sample sizes and understanding how testing works. And then development of tests, which that's become dramatically easier over the last couple of years with the the chat GPTs, Geminis. You can go into these tools and say, hey, I'm going to build a test on IntelliGems or VWO or whatever, and I want to do XYZ, give it a page, tell it what you want to do, and it'll spit out the JavaScript and CSS that you need, and that'll generally get you these days 85% of the way there. There might be some things you need to kind of go back and forth and tweak, but the days of needing a lot of dev resources to get these tests off the ground is behind us. So that's definitely a hurdle that's made the cycle of testing a lot faster.
The way that you approach that was totally different than how I thought you would. I just, starting with a massive amount of qualitative data. Hey, what are our customers saying? What do they like? Focus groups. How can I dig into what makes them tick? Motivations behind why they're coming to us, etc. I did not think you were going to go there, and I think it's great that you bring that up because in my mind when I think of CRO, I think of headlines. I think of PDPs and all the things. But you're starting at a more fundamental level of like, who are these people that are coming to our site? What do they want, and why do they care about us? I find that really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not discounting the ability of headlines, for example. It depends on what your business is too, right? Because they have businesses out there that I see all the time, like a Groons or some of these guys where they have tons of ad funnels and whatnot, but they if you go to the Groons website, they literally have like a one-page website, right? So if you think of that as kind of like a testing playground, there's a ton of opportunity. There is the headline that is really like the main thing that's driving someone's understanding of why the product is right for them and whatever. If you're an e-commerce site that has 500,000 SKUs, it's different, right? Like you have your homepage, which probably is getting a lot of traffic. You're probably driving a lot of traffic to your PDPs as well. And at 500,000 SKUs, you don't generally have the resources to be, putting the time and attention into all of those that you would if you have one page, right? So what ends up happening is you kind of work at more of like a template level, and that's where understanding what parts of that template make the most impact on decisions. So, generally, what I think your question before was, what are some of the tests that you see work, low hanging fruit, anything around value props? I think a lot of sites a more poor job than they think they do in terms of actually getting across what makes them different. There's obviously the table stakes stuff today of free shipping, returns, warranties, and all that. But I think there's so much noise in e-commerce today and brand, like even like a Reef, right? Like we compete with Olakai's, and there's tons of other brands that are, trying to tell their own story and why their product's better and the right fit for you. So it really comes down to, you mentioned vibes, right? Like Reef is a lot about the beach lifestyle in California, Hawaii, all these places that our, surfers are at. So it's about building. The brand piece is obviously about connecting in some way with consumers and why they should even consider you. And then at the end of the day, like long-term success comes down to products, right? Like you mentioned, we have iconic products, we have great products, we have super comfortable products. So those are the things that are going to keep you coming back once you've been introduced to the brand through influencers, through professional surfers, and all the other things that that brands do.
Wow. Brandon, I mean, sometimes when you're dealing with some of these tests, like you mentioned, IntelliGems is one of the platforms you're doing the tests inside of. You have to justify why you're doing these tests to upper management. You have to explain results. You got to defend results. Is this true? And also, how are you navigating the quote unquote politics of this? Because you have to really, toe this line properly about the results of everything. And basically you're presenting the data. And how are you doing this where you're not getting your head chewed off?
I've experienced this, needing to manage.
Same here.
Needing to, I've experienced this a lot.
So that's a great plug. You guys can go find the interview I did with Alex from IntelliGems where we went over that for I think at least a half an hour. But I can give you the cliff notes would be, I think, some of the things I went over with him, and this goes actually back to my days at TaylorMade when, that's 8 years ago, probably wasn't as well known as it is today. And that was a large company, new to testing. I think the initial part is education, because I think a lot of kind of top level executives, they understand the concept of testing. I would venture to guess that the vast majority of them don't know the finer details of like how it works, right? Like how
Sure.
much traffic do I need? How long do I have to run the test for? When can I call the test? All those things are important to understand when you're actually reporting results, right? Because what you'll generally see with upper management is they don't have a lot of things like this, right? And they want answers immediately. So I think
Yeah.
setting proper expectations is important around, hey, we're going to run this shipping threshold test, right? Like we probably want to run this for, let's say, 2 to 4 weeks. It's not going to be done in a week. And you're definitely going to get emails, slacks from them saying, how's it looking? How's it looking? How's it looking?
Yeah.
And you can certainly send them a screenshot, show them the numbers, but they need to be clear that that isn't, concluded test that you can trust. So, yeah, I mean, education's the first part. I think, having a kind of templatized like post-mortem that you do on tests, right? No
Yeah.
executive wants to go into IntelliGems and decipher the charts and do all that stuff. That's the
No.
job of the person running the testing program. So,
Mhm.
what I've developed over time is, and this has gotten again even easier with the chat GPTs and IntelliGems and the other testing tools. At this point, even have integrations into those things so that you can kind of automate a lot of this.
Yeah.
But basically
Plug in.
pulling out all the learnings into layman's terms of this was up, this was down, this is the reason for that. And then, another piece is not just kind of ending with a single test and being ready to take that next step of, okay, we want to go implement this, but we still think there's opportunity to continue down this road. For example, we're going to go test the shipping threshold and it's a winner. Great. Do we keep going further? Is the brand and everyone comfortable with that? Similar things around return fees and kind of the more, I mean, this is some of the stuff I think IntelliGems has popularized on the Shopify side is like, I think they call it profit testing.
Profit testing.
But things beyond content of button colors and headlines of what's the price of products, what is our, return fees, what is shipping rates, all the things that at the end of the day really drive profitability. I mean, you can scale order volume all day, but if the economics on each order aren't great,
Yeah.
obviously you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
I think generally I kind of, well, I like this take. I like this take on kind of reframing CRO in the sense of, what are we really trying to do? We're trying to increase profit. More
Yeah.
conversion is great, but we want more profit on the backside there too. I would love your thoughts on, with the increased capabilities that we have with every AI tool that continually comes out, is there a kind of a bigger risk, big reward category in CRO anymore? In the sense that I don't need as much dev time. I don't need as much of this, of what it would require. I can just spin up, I can vibe code, brand new page, inside of 5 minutes. Is there like a big risk, big reward category anymore? Or is it truly all out in front of us? And we
Yeah.
don't need to just kind of categorize like, oh, we'll go for quick wins here for the next, 8 weeks. What's that look like in practicality on your side?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I mentioned before, the proliferation of the AI tools and even the AI features within the testing tools that exist today
Yeah.
are changing the game to some degree in terms of velocity, right? Because one of the biggest challenges of driving, large gains from testing is just velocity, depending on how big your store is, or, basically traffic and order volume. That's really the thing that caps your ability to test, right? Because you need enough volume to
It's true.
trust the results from
Yeah.
each test. So, obviously, brands that are doing, have tens of millions of sessions are in a different category. But I think, I'm not super sure about, who's listening to this podcast. But I would assume it's probably more in the mid range of, let's say we're in 25 to 100 million. So yes, there's definitely the more automated tests that are going to be brought up these tools of, I'm trying to think of some example. Like the most simple example is like adding value props. Let's say under the
Yeah.
CTA, right? Like
Yeah.
that's not groundbreaking. Like I'm not denying it's probably going to work, but I think to my point earlier is the things that are really going to shift like your business in a large way is going to come from the harder research, which is not surface level like insights, right? It's going to come from doing focus groups and talking to tons of customers to understand, in some cases, like what they actually feel that they don't even say, right? You might be in a focus group and people say one thing, but then their action on site is actually something different. So those are just nuances that, you know, you can't get putting in the hard work. So I'd say that they're just different categories, right? Like I think in the future, what's going to happen is you're going to be working on these bigger initiatives, and then you're going to have this kind of always on AI kind of optimization layer that's there.
Very interesting.
Wow. I mean, it rings true because we've had Aman from Ministry of Supply on the show, and he calls 3 to 5 customers every single day, still for his business, and it's a massive business. And then we had Sarah Levenger on the show, and she is so bullish on, you know, putting these groups together, getting this feedback from customers.
Yeah.
And she's saying more Shopify stores need to be doing this, even though it's a little bit more traditional. There's so much kind of, you know, that's being left on the table that they just don't know about, which is unbelievable.
That's my biggest kind of fundamental takeaway from everything that you're saying, Brandon, is that there is a substantial harder piece of the work when it comes to what is happening digitally with pixels on the screen. There's a more fundamentally useful, necessary form of work that needs to happen with really getting in front of people and talking to them and mining all of that, and then really getting at the meaning behind what they're saying. Sometimes they're not even articulating that. I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
We may have lost Brandon. We may have lost him.
Yeah.
Well,
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
He's on the move. He's on the move. This is a great.
Yeah, I think
no, this is great.
Well, what's funny is this is the first non-85 and sunny day. I'm in San Diego, so it's pretty beautiful every day.
Nice.
But no, I think what I heard you say was that, yeah, I mean, I think that's the cusp of it is it's hard work, right? And you mentioned, I think, the Ministry of Supply guy that calls customers every day. That's what every brand, right? But they get kind of inundated with the daily task, and they forget that is the most important thing, is understanding what your customers want. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stories like that, right? Of like CEOs that go out of their way to talk to customers, and I think that's what helps them win.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, man, we appreciate you joining us. We're going to be following Reef here the rest of the year and seeing what exciting things come out there. I need to go and get myself equip myself with some of those new shoes. And man, we look forward to having you back. We appreciate you making the time, brother.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate the time. Yeah, check out. We actually have those fanning sandals in a shoe as well with the bottle openers, so those will take care of you for your next 15 years.
There we go. There we go.
I love
it. I love it. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Awesome. See you.
All right, guys.
Wow.
Talk to you next time. See you.
Wow. I mean, interesting.
Always be testing.
Yeah, always be testing. An interesting perspective from an operator who's, you know, consistently working with brands 9 figures and above. His thoughts there on the necessary work of actually talking to your customers. CRO doesn't start with pixels on a screen. It starts with conversations with your customers. I think that's fascinating. And I hope that AI enables us more ways to do this, just, you know, beyond post-purchase surveys and such. Maybe it's really a human forward thing that I'm hoping AI can do for me. But I think this is a great trend and it's a great point that he's brought out, that you mentioned with Sarah, you know, commenting on this with Aman and what he's doing over at Ministry of Supply. This needs to be more in the water among what we do.
Yeah, and record the conversation and then run it as a Facebook ad, and you'll get your best performing ad of that month.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is the case. I think that is very much the case. Well, we've got another guest coming up, but one story before we get there, and before we hit that story, let's talk about incense. Ladies and gentlemen, don't we all want better ads? Yeah, we do. We do. And we'd love for humans to actually be involved in that process, creators, et cetera, who are good at what they do. But process is so disjointed, manually negotiating usage rights, etc. That is why Incense exists. It is the all-in-one UGC and influencer marketing platform that actually makes creative scalable. Okay. A vetted creator marketplace, not just you finding people, but them applying to you. Automated influencer outreach, built-in campaign management. You get content in as little as 14 days, and it's so much better than just finding a random TikTok and hoping that it scales your brand to infinity. This is real relationships with real creators and getting creative that really scales. If you go to incense.pro or you go and get this UGC Playbook 2.0 they have just released at the URL scrolling across the screen, you will find out why Andromeda is actually a good thing, despite all of the crying that is happening on X for the past, 18, 24 months. Andromeda is good. Modular UGC is the way. Go and get that today. Many thanks for Incense being part of the show. Now, before our next guest comes in, I'd like to hit one story here that I think we should all pay attention to, that I'm excited about and I hope works out well. Spotify, not Shopify, Spotify is debuting carousel ads and branded playlist takeovers. Now, I know, okay, I was born and bred on Meta alone, but new platforms, shopping forward, we know DPA ads work. Okay. They're always your best performing ads that are largely retargeting, but it's always your best performing ad inside of Meta. Reddit has developed their carousel collection type ads that everybody's excited about over there. Now Spotify is getting in the game. I think this is really interesting for tapping into a whole new audience that maybe does not know you yet on Instagram, TikTok, Meta, etc. It is a new place. And it's not like, oh, I'm listening to the podcast and I have an ad come up. No. This is you inside the Spotify app and being able to scroll through said products that are on top of the playlist that you like. I find this really interesting. What are your thoughts, Colin?
How many times have you done the Shopify Spotify fumble up?
I mean, it's, even Mark Andreessen did it. So, I just,
whenever I'm talking to my dad about it, he always fumbles it up. He's like, how's everything with Spotify? I'm like, that is Shopify. He's like, I'm like, oh yeah, Shopify. I think this is great. I am in the camp of more ad inventory, the better. This is better for brands. The more ad inventory, it's easier for you to scale. We just talked about this on the show yesterday, folks, where you need to diversify out and not be totally leveraged on one platform, because that platform could go away for you. That profitability could go away for you. That ad manager could go away for you. If you're having more of these smaller platforms, and maybe Spotify, obviously Spotify is not going to take up 90% of your ad spend. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 8. But now that's a little bit kind of siphoned off. That is not over diversified out onto just one platform instead. It's a great move, folks. Make sure you diversify your platforms.
I think the wonder also is like, hey, what's the CPMs going to look like? I think there's always the, it's the Arby's moment. It's the Arby's moment.
Exactly.
That our good friend over at Originally Chubby's, now Good Day, explained to us when we had him here on the pod, on the show, was, hey, with this new platform, new capabilities, is it going to be cheap inventory that we can take advantage of? I'll tell you this. Let me just read this to you, because there are some interesting features about this. Advertisers can pay to be the only featured brand on a given playlist, where their name appears prominently on the playlist, or fewer ad breaks throughout the duration of a sponsored playlist. Both carousel ads and sponsored playlists are served to users of Spotify's free tier. To me, I find this interesting because, let's say there is a brand, or there's specifically an artist that is really endeared to your audience for whatever reason. We all know our niches. The riches are in the niches. We all know our niches better than anyone else, hopefully. If there is a really hot new artist inside of that category that you're already selling to, why not go ahead and have your brand scrolling across whenever they're going back and listening daily? I find this to be really interesting, and I hope it works out for the D2C e-com world.
Yeah, I like it a little bit more from the consumer behavior standpoint, where you understand the mood that the listener is in by the music type and genre they're listening to.
That's
And so
fair.
I would imagine Spotify is backed into some data where if you start to listen to XYZ amount of music or this type of genre with music, then you're in more of a buying mode. You're more influenceable. And so they have a lot of consumer data here already that can just be sold into. This is great. And you already have all the podcast data of what people are listening to, what people are interested in. I just finished the Mark Andreessen podcast with David. It's a great example. You know exactly what I just listened to, what they just talked about on the podcast. You already have the transcript of that if you're Spotify.
Yeah.
And so you can start to bring up and surface these. I'm a huge fan of this.
I would probably not buy any ads on top of like a sad playlist, probably. I don't know, unless maybe you just broke up with your significant other and you need a large teddy bear. I don't know. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
But interesting point on the data piece. Now, we have I would call him a viral personality that is coming on the show right now. Okay. Multiple time founder inside of the tech space. I believe we'll have to verify with him. I believe at his first startup, he generated like 30 million page views or something. I mean, he has some inborn viral skills, and now he is the founder and main character behind large language movies and the ever viral X account Silicon Mania, detailing in curious formats what is happening inside of tech. And he's doing something very interesting among us. I'm talking about the one and only Adil Mania. Adil, get in here. Get in here, Adil. Yeah. There he is. Adil, welcome to the show, brother.
The intro. That was so cool. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right. Brother, we have seen your videos everywhere, man. Everywhere.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
It reminds me of The Simpsons, and it's like everything that has everything that's happened in tech for the week. I think you have happened upon a format that the internet at large is going to adopt and take here forward.
There is a new episode that just dropped like 5 minutes ago. So go watch
Did it really?
after the show. Yeah, it's just
Let's
not
go.
On. Yes.
Yeah, we'll watch after the show.
After the show.
We'll link this segment to that, so we'll watch after the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, Adil, I think that you have a very unique and kind of important thesis underlying everything that you do, which is make tech fun again. Man, dive into that for us. Why does tech need to be made fun again? Why do we need, more voices and more formats than just founders talking to founders, talking to founders, talking to founders? And why so serious all the time? Why do we need a new kind of media in the tech space at large?
Yeah. So first, I love tech since I was a kid. Like, it's brought me a lot of things that any other industry or sector or whatever has never brought to me, which is you can just make cool shit with tech. And I love that. And you can make, you can move so fast. You can do so many cool things. Awesome. I remember when I was a kid, I was making games and I just enjoyed that. And that's what tech brings. So that's one part of the thesis. The other part is it just makes people's lives easier. And that's why I love consumer products more than B2B AI agent shit, because they help people to make simple things and have more comfort in life, starting from Uber to Waymos to even the dishwasher. All of that is tech, and we have that right now. Even what we are doing right now, we're having this call on this tool, and it helps us to do it. And that's why I just love tech. The problem we have is that when you see the media and narrative and how we are pushing this tech to people, so it's, let's say, I won't say it's controlled, but the most noisy people are usually people who hate tech for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they're like, okay, this is bad. Yeah, we take your jobs and everything. I think we are just starting this new cycle where so many things will happen, like COVID, some people made so much money thanks to COVID, which is weird, but it works. And that's chaos. In life, you always have chaos. AI is new chaos we are having, and that's cool. So I feel like people should appreciate the moment more than it's coming for us, we are dead. It's not Black Mirror, and I hope we never have the Black Mirror kind of
I hope not either.
Picture. But I just feel this moment is one of the best moments ever. And when I see how we are telling the stories and all what's happening outside, it's like, so basically I see just two things. The first one is like, as I said, like media, I won't say the names, but I think they know themselves and we all know them. And they're like, this is bad. Founders are bad. They don't know anything. And I mean, I understand them because like they have their own criteria of what works and what doesn't. But like we are still in the beginning. Like compare Cloud Code last year with Cloud Code right now. It's not the same thing at all. And so, and this is something I love, like in Silicon Valley, because like people here, they don't care about now. They care about what's okay, the progress, okay, the motion, the movements, and that's what we need. We need like just to keep making progress. That's all. And we need to keep critiquing like everything that's happened. That's okay. That's good also. So like that's one part of the media sphere. The other part is here, and what's happening here is usually boring. I'm sorry, but it's boring. It's boring. Like I don't watch that. So we need more vibes, and especially if you start comparing what's happening here with what's happening in other industries like sports, music, Hollywood. They know how to market their stars. Look at LeBron James. You're like, oh, he's like the GOAT. When you look at Zuckerberg, you're like, oh, he's not the GOAT. We have a problem. We have a marketing problem, and I think that if we do that, we just help people to shape their own opinion. I'm okay, like if some people love Zuckerberg or hate him, I have my own personal opinion, but that's mine. But I just think that if you see the media right now, everyone is like hating him from the outside. And I think that's wrong. We just need to give the two parts of the stories, and then it's up to you to decide. If you like him, it's good. If you hate him, it's good. Some people like Spider-Man, some people like Venom. It's okay. Both of them are good. So it's up to you. And that's, again, where I feel there is a problem is that we don't sell well what's happening inside. And what will happen with all of this if we don't change anything is that we will end up with this stupid civil war between people where some people are like, oh, AI is good and we should make more things with it. And people are like, oh, no, this is scary. I don't want it. And this is bad. If we stop progress, we are dead. Every civilization in the past who stopped progressing is dead. We don't need to die. That's my thesis.
Don't die. Wow. Don't die. That's right. That's right. Sure.
Could you talk a little bit about the actual videos and the workflow? I adamantly am a bit of a nerd when it comes to this. I was a former photographer, videographer. Could you talk about kind of what your weapon of choice is? There's so many tools out there now. Could you talk about that workflow and how you're pushing these out extremely consistently, which is a feat in and of itself as well?
It is. It is.
Yeah. I'm dying. That's the first thing. It's so hard to automate everything. Like even for this one, who was like, as I said, like just before the show, it took me a lot of time to make it. Because again, like so the problem with AI right now is like, if you want to make high quality stuff, you need the human touch, you need the human crafts on each frame, and it takes time. I haven't seen so many people like doing high quality stuff with AI. There's like three or two people that I know. And when you see what they produced as content, or like as production, whatever, you feel the artist's touch at each moment, at each frame. And that's what makes a difference. Details matters. So to come back to my general workflow, so I used everything, like from clean to Sedance to video to nano. I just feel like one of the tricks that works, and I can give it to you for free, is that, so basically a video is like 30 frames or 60 frames. That's a video. So it's just like picture, and you just animate them. So what happens is, if you take the model, like the video model, video, Kling, whatever you want, and you prompt, and you're like, hey, make me a video about this thing. And you talk about, let's say, LeBron James. Bad results. And you won't have something really good quality. If you say the same prompts, but you add the first frame, like some reference, something, so the model is like, okay, it's like you are, for me, I always treat models like kids. So you just need to be as simple as possible and as stupid as possible when you're talking to them. Like, just make me this and don't change this, as simple as you can. So if you give like a reference image, it's better. So reference image plus prompt is better. The best thing you can do is like give the first frame and the last frame, and then do everything in the middle. And when you do that, usually the quality goes, I think, like 10 times better, just because like you guided the model. Because again, like the models, they are stupid. Like they don't know how to do stuff. You need like to prompt them so well, so they can do crazy stuff. And that's what I'm doing usually with the recaps, is like on each frame, like on each reference, there's always like on each reference, yes, there's always like some first like frame that I use, and then I'm like, okay, let's try and animate this, and then I make sure that okay, I have, let's say, 5-6 results, and I decide between the 5 or 6 of them. And this is something that Hollywood, I think, they have been doing for a long time, because even when we see movies, they take at least 5-6 shots of each scene. Like, okay, there is this moment in the movie, and let's do it like 5 times. And then the director will be like, okay, I prefer this one than this one. I'm doing the same thing. It's just difference is like he has the sets with Netflix. I'm in front of my computer. It's the same thing. So, and again, like this is where I think it's hard. That's why I don't believe like in the autonomous AI content creation system, which is like you just give AI anything and it will work out and you have the best results. I'm not sure. But if you use AI, so it gives you like so many outputs, and you decide yourself, because you are the artist of, okay, this is good, this is bad, this is where you get high quality productions. And that's why people love the recaps, and that's what I'm happy with right now.
Well, I think the results speak for themselves, Adil. You know, in terms of AI generated content, how many views that they get, et cetera, in whatever niche. I know there's a lot, especially in e-commerce, there's a lot of content around like, hey, set up this system, it'll make 500 ads for you today, and then you'll make $100,000 tomorrow. There's a lot of content around that. But in terms of just actually making AI content that people love and gets tons of views, I mean, you seem to be at the forefront of it, and one of the few people who actually uses it in the sense of, and in the way an artist would, as in like, hey, this is my tool. Human craft is involved at every stage, and it seems like the tech audience eats it up as a result. I think that your thesis and the kind of undergirding of all of this with, hey, we need to bring more fun, more entertainment, edutainment to what is happening inside of our space. I'm a big believer in this. We are trying to do the same thing in a way, you know, in a different form. These videos have gone so well, but this is not all that you're doing. I know that you guys had a show that was rolling out here as of late, but I think there were some technicalities that were difficult to execute with us. Tell us about this.
Yeah, it's funny because like it was supposed to be like, it's the first tech late night show, like, you know, like Jimmy Fallon vibes, but and tech didn't work out for once. Even though like we made sure everything was working perfectly before, and then I don't know why, like 30 minutes before, everything was like no. But it happens. Like that's sometimes, you know, destiny. Like sometimes stuff you can just control. So so the late night show, as I said, like for me, the vision with Silicon Mania. So I have 2 things. The last one, but I will keep it secret for now. I will share it maybe later. And the next, for me, like in the next 5 years, the main idea is like to make it as NBC for tech. So like we have so many productions. That's why I don't want to be a content creator myself. And you don't see my face on the media. You can see me a lot because I'm taking the lead right now, but we are having, and we will have many more hosts for the next weeks and days, because like that's what's a broadcast or network channel. That's how they work. Like they have so many hosts, so many productions, and so we'd love to do the same. And why? Because it will just help us to get to so many audiences with different tastes. Because like some people, like I remember when I was watching TV when I was a kid, like I was watching specific programs, my mom was watching other programs, but both of us on the same channel, and I think we can do the same. And that's what I'm trying to offer with Silicon Mania. So different vibes all around tech, all positive. I think we'll have some like sad stuff because that's entertainment also, but we'll keep like being as cool, as positive as we can. So, and to make it simple, so as I said, like the recaps are the first one we've been doing. The Silicon Mania show, that's the second one. And the idea is like to make it weekly if we can. It's so hard because like that's like the hardcore mode, because like we are bringing a GOAT guest because like it's an hour and a half. Then we're bringing him to SF. Then we are still known for now. Like I think in maybe some weeks we will be like more known, and then we can get guests, especially like famous guests, so easier. So it's still complicated. Then it's like 1 hour and a half. Then it's interactive, it's live. So for everyone who has a company with some problems right now, I'm not sure it's a good idea. like,
Yeah.
like there's interaction, and I know how much their PR team will be like, but I've been doing all of this before in France, and this was working perfectly. I brought like so many famous guests in France, and even with interaction with live streams, we never had a problem because like I think that's also your job as a host, like to make sure that everything works well, even though like some people might spam the chat with some shitty comments, but that's okay. That's okay. Skip that. You ignore that, and you keep the vibes high for the show. And I said, like for me, my idea with the show is like to offer two things, and that's what I love with the night shows. Like they are one, like they are made to make the character, the guests, looks as wow as possible, and especially as human as possible. And that's what I like about them. Like when I watch them, I'm like, oh, okay, I discovered like let's say Noah Schnapp as Noah Schnapp, not as the Stranger Things actor. Okay, we know that.
Sure.
Like I already saw your production, but now I want to know who are you as a person, and that's where I feel like Jimmy is so good, and even like Connor and all of those who made night shows before, they were all about the guest as himself or herself, and I really like that. So that's what I'm trying to bring back. And I think if you ask Sebastian, like the founder of Waymo, who was the first guest we've had, he enjoyed it, and it was so human for him. Like for example, some things that we've done is that. So I brought him a video that was recorded before from his own kid, and he was saying to him like so many cool stuff, and he started crying on stage. And that's the kind of human touch I'm trying to bring in tech, because like, okay, everyone knows Waymo, everyone knows the product, but who is Sebastian? Like, why? And like, and everything about him as a character, I think that's what I care about, and that's where I feel like the night show can be interesting. So that's one thing I'm trying to go for. The other thing is interaction, because I feel like the problem with podcasts usually is that you prepare the questions, you confirm the questions, everything is good. But for the audience is like, wait, where I can hop in this thing and participate and interact with it. And I've tried this before, and it was so cool because it gives you those simple questions, random questions that even as a host or a journalist, whatever you can call yourself, you will never think of them. Because that's why I love Twitch, because like again, it gives you like those cool questions. So yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to bring. So like, let's say connect those goats with founders, with everyone who cares about them or not, and give them this 5-star experience. The first one was really, really, really good. The only problem, as I said, we had is like those cameras didn't work out, not the streaming didn't work out. The next one will be fun. The next one will be cool, and we'll solve everything. So we already like solved everything. So for the next one, it should be good. No worries.
I mean,
and then. Just one last thing. Then we have so many other productions that are coming the next week. I think we have another production that is coming next week. I think people will love it. This is like, so the next one is one of, I've been like on content for a long time. This is my, like the best one I produced ever.
Ooh,
I think people love it. I think people love it. So excited.
Well, I would just say, Adil, I mean, pulling the founder of Waymo for your first show is a pretty good get. I mean, would you agree, Colin?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's unreal. I mean, I could totally see this where you could do this, and I would just say from an entertainment standpoint, I think VCs would absolutely love to host all of this stuff, and they have the amazing offices. They could also get you all the founders. I see that's how I would play it if I was in SF. I would basically go to A16Z or whoever and be like, hey, we're going to bring in the best people in the world, and it's going to be attached to your VC company. And then, by the way, this is your pipeline of incredible founders. By the way, this is what we got now. I totally see this just taking off and to the right. So this is incredible. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Adil, I think that this is, number one, it's interesting. Number two, I find it especially relevant for e-commerce. E-commerce is unique from tech, but it's also tech adjacent. Everything that we do is it follows what's happening inside of tech. Zuck among us, love him or hate him, he is the GOAT. Among us, because none of us would have a job without Zuck. He's the guy. And the Meta acquisition machine that they have developed as an advertising platform. I think this is especially relevant for e-commerce. And I would also just say, I find it interesting because I have a thesis that on the brand side, for everybody inside e-commerce who are developing consumer brands, we've talked about this a lot, that there is a bet to be made on, number one, becoming a media company. Even though you're selling widgets, there's a big bet to be made on producing your own content in-house. Number two, IRL and live. We've talked about, this kind of coined theme of being a Truman Show brand, who people can access you because you're live. What's going on inside your warehouse? What meetings are being had in your team? What products you're developing, et cetera. I think there's a lot of elements about what you're doing that transfer over and can be appropriated for e-commerce in general, but also brands in our space who want to become more visible and be endeared to their audience, and sell more.
Yeah, I think for me, like, all the thesis is about caring about people, caring about customers. That's all. Like, the more you care about them, the more it works. And that's what media is all about. Like, you create content, or like you make whatever, like newspaper, whatever you want, or newsletter, and it's all about the people at the end. Like, if the audience likes it or not. And for me, it's the same. Like, if I have a brand and I want it like to work right now, I think like I want to go like from top to the bottom, but the opposite. Like, I will start with the people. Like, okay, who is the audience? Like, who are those customers? What do they care about? Okay, maybe they care about, let's say, I don't know. Like, I think for me, one of the best examples is like maybe Cluely, with all their content on Instagram and TikTok. Like, they've made this media kind of production, which is like The Office, but their vibes, and it brings them like so many attention, so many people who care about what they're doing, and then they discover. And that's for me the best free promotion you can do for your brand, and it costs way less than ads. So
That's right. That's right.
And that's where, okay, I feel like there is still something. And at the same time, I know how much like media creation is harder than ads. Ads are so simple to make. Like, you can just go make some great ads. Like, the top 1% ads are so hard to make, but the rest, they're easy. And so, but I just think like from the thing with media is like people become addicted, and that's where it's interesting. Like, when they, again, where it's all about emotions. So when they watch what you're doing and they're like, oh, okay, this is cool, I like it, and you convert them later, it's easier than, hey, we are selling this, take it or not. So this is like just transactional. People, like, they love when you are like, hey, I'm here for you, I made this for you, look at this production. And then this, and it's funny because like when you see TV at the end, it's the same thing. It's just generic. It's like TV, it's all about, they make productions and they connect ads to productions. That's all. But it's not the same ads for the same productions. Like, what if you can own this, both of them yourself, which is you have the distribution at the same time you have the production. And I think it's coming. I've seen so many brands like trying to do this, and it works so well. So yeah, so excited for what's next. For me, I just think that the less we automate, the more it's better. So like, we need to automate some stuff, but like, when it's relevant. When it's not relevant, stop spamming people. That's all. Spam is bad.
Well, Adil, man, we appreciate you making the time. As soon as we're off the live stream, I'm going to watch that show, brother.
Exactly.
And we're going to be tuning in to the late night show as well. And
the next production, I think you will love it. The next one is really,
I mean, can you give us any details on that? Can you sprinkle anything there yet, Adil?
I can just say one word, and that's all. I can talk about sharks.
Okay, all right. I'll take that. Well, man, we're going to be following along. We appreciate you coming on the show. We look forward to having you back, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you.
What could it be?
He's a live wire.
Could it be Shark Tank?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's got to be. Shark.
It's got to be, or it could be Shark Week.
I don't think they're going to put him inside of a cage. I don't think they're going to put anybody inside of a cage and drop him down into the Pacific Ocean. But I could be wrong. I think a tech forward Shark Tank type show would be very interesting.
Oh my gosh, it would absolutely be a home run. It's just an absolute home run with how everything is going right now. It makes so much sense. I think I hate to say this. I think Shark Tank is like slightly played out right now, where like the model just isn't like, it's not as fun as it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That could really use a little refresher.
Well, here's what I'll say. I haven't watched Shark Tank in many years. So
That's what I'm saying. I feel like people used to watch it all the time, and now it's like, oh, this is great. And remember, like the CEO of Ring was on there, and none of them
yeah.
invested. Like all of these
Yeah.
crazy companies have been through there. I don't know. It's just not as exciting anymore.
You know, an e-com D2C version of Shark Tank would be kind of cool.
That'd be
Be
sick.
kind of cool. You'd have to come with
That'd
your
be cool.
numbers, come with your product, come with your pitch, you know,
What would you
all
call
of
it?
that. I don't know. Shark Tank.
No,
There's
no.
probably, I mean, you'd have to edit it. You'd have to call it something else, but
Yeah.
I don't
That'd be good.
know. I think it would be
I
interesting.
love that.
Get the
Yeah, I
right
love
people in
that.
the room.
Yeah.
Be very interesting. Well, as we move on to our lightning round of stories here, let's talk about AMP, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't explain how your business is doing in a sentence or two, do you really know how your business is doing? If you don't know how to quickly, concisely answer, hey, what's our CAC? How's our LTV? Are we trending toward forecast or not? Are we up, down, left, right? If you can't answer those questions quickly, concisely, I'm not sure you know how your business is doing. Don't you want to scale with confidence in 2026? Yes, you do. That's why you need AMP. Their favorite tool of mine, Lifetimely, allows you to answer all of those questions, both from you and your team, in one visually pleasing place and space. And the good news is, if you get Lifetime, you get all their other tools for free, all designed to put profit inside of your pocket. What they're doing with their AI now, truly unique, it prompting you, this cohort, this product, let's test this, do that. Go to useamp.com, test drive that platform today. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Okay, last round of stories here, Colin. Let's hit this little lightning round style. We've really got two kind of a lightning round rounds of stories here, but very quickly, number one, David Protein class action lawsuit dropped. It is over. It is over with. The people who brought it have dropped it. This comes to us from It's Andrea over at Snack Shot, and she says this class action lawsuit against David Protein has been voluntarily dismissed pursuant to Fed R Civ P, a bunch of numbers, plaintiffs Daniela Lopez, David Freefeld, and Crystal Patterson individually and on behalf of themselves hereby give notice that the above captioned action is voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. No details here, but I'm happy about it. I don't want to see anybody get sued. I'm glad to see this. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm glad this was dropped too. You know, keep rolling, keep rocking and rolling and scaling.
Keep rocking and rolling. And I would say, even if this hadn't gotten dropped, I think what they did content-wise on the backside of this thing coming out, I think was really effective. I feel like they won in the court of public opinion, whether this ever went to court or not. Whoop has raised a gajillion dollars. Whoop raises $575 million at a 10.1 billion valuation. This comes to us from Will Ahmed. Is Will connect? Yeah, he's the founder and CEO of Whoop. Will says, I'm pleased to announce that we've raised $575 million at a 10B valuation to accelerate our mission of unlocking human performance and health span globally. By the Collaborative Fund Investor Group. And then he gives a lot of details on what they've done in the past 12 months, received medical clearances, launched blood testing, created a platform that has saved lives, Abbott Mayo Clinic, et cetera, et cetera. I had no clue that they had a 10B valuation. What are your thoughts on this one? I know this one was juicy for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just to put this in context for everyone, Chris, I told you this before the show. Whoop raises $575 million, which is basically a little over 14 and a half Allbirds, folks.
That's wild.
14 and a half Allbirds Whoop just raised. And this is amazing. I mean, this is what you want to see inside of the space. This is another win for subscription brands. This is another win for very heavy LTV brands. We're giving you the sauce on the show about what brands that are winning inside of the space right now. These are the breadcrumbs, folks. The folks that get funded, that get all of the VC dollars, those are the folks that you need to be paying attention to and emulating.
You have made this point several times, and it is well taken. I mean, there's dollars for subscription,
Serious dollars.
anything that has recurring revenue, there are serious dollars to be had out in the market for. That's very, it's compelling. Raised $575 million, about 14 and a half Allbirds for what they were just bought for. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Suno. For those who don't know, you should know Suno. Okay, Suno is the AI music tool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people are making serious cash with this thing. Okay. People with zero music experience. This comes to us from Sharish on Twitter. People with zero music experience are earning thousands per month using Suno AI, ChatGPT for lyrics, selling custom jingles, birthday songs, background tracks. Some are hitting consistent streams with lo-fi meditation or niche reels music. This was covered recently on My First Million. What I will say is just personally, okay, I recently stumbled across a YouTube channel where they have taken the books of the New Testament, okay, and turn them into songs, which I don't know how you take a book of a New Testament and like Ephesians, for example, and turning into a song. Okay, this was like 2000s hip hop style, 2000s R&B book of Ephesians. And it's like one of the best songs I've ever heard. It was lit. I mean, I texted it to my friends. I was like, listen to this thing. This is incredible. I mean, just keep you going. And, it's like the words of the Apostle Paul from like the first century. It's like I could not believe it. Like the capabilities of this thing. And it made me want you and me to make some custom jingles for all of our brand friends that come on the show.
Sure.
I think jingles need to make a comeback. I still have earworm 90s jingles inside of my brain. Best part of waking up, filters in your cup. I think we need to use Suno to make some jingles for our friends. Jingles need to make a hardcore comeback. What do you think of that?
Absolutely. Yeah, and all of the songs coming from Suno are absolutely phenomenal. I've listened to a couple and I'm like, this is a great song. What is going on with the music industry? Are we cooked now? Because I listen to a couple and I'll be like, God, do I put this on my Spotify? Like, what's going on? This is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely awesome. I'm telling you, that YouTube, I mean, I'm sure there's a number of YouTube channels. I think there's tons of them, but that was a banger. Crazy. It was so good. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Suno's got musical capabilities that most of us do not. That is the case for sure. Now, to finish the show, absurd offerings, a roundup of absurd offerings on the internet. And we all know that absurdity leads to virality. Our first one comes to us via Crunch Bar. Crunch Bar popcorn is among us, and there is a rumor that perhaps this is an April Fool's Day tease, but they are displaying a kind of vendor of sorts that one could access at movie theaters, and everybody's very excited about this one. You've been pairing Bunch of Crunch with popcorn for years. Now it gets its rightful spot on the concession stand, introducing the Bunch of Crunch concession dispenser experience coming soon. Eyes emoji has 2.7 million views, and the comments are rife with yes, commerce is culture, and interesting GIF from Phil Jackson. And there is some concern that this is April Fool's Day joke that will be played on us all. What do you think of this?
Oh yeah, put this into my bloodstream immediately. This is right up my alley. I want this badly.
What I will say is I don't think I would have this. I don't think I would eat it.
Seriously?
I don't think I would
destroy
this. No.
I would destroy this.
Popcorn is made to be salty, and I know you got the sweet and the salty thing going on there. It's probably delicious. I'm happy to try it. I'm happy to try it. But this one's not striking my fancy. Not striking my
Crazy
fancy.
take.
Not doing it for me. Next, protein hookah lounges.
Oh my gosh.
And there's hubbub that this will take over Miami. Saudi Arabia is launching protein hookah lounges at gyms. They won't use nicotine or tobacco. Instead, a herbal molasses-based mix with whey protein, creatine, BCAAs, whatever those are, and pre-workout supplements. The concept was introduced by Gym Nation with lounges placed inside or next to gyms as post-workout chill zones. The rollout starts in Riyadh, followed by Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Jeddah, and Bahrain. The project involved Dr. Sam Albana, who claims inhaled protein enters the bloodstream faster and is absorbed more efficiently. 1.8 million views since posting. Your thoughts, Colin?
I need this immediately as well. This is amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to try it. Give me a protein hookah. I'll look that thing up.
This is my weekend. If you give me one of these, I'll do this all weekend. Come back jacked. Are you kidding me? I mean, done. I'm sold on this.
Okay, I mean, you got like the habit, you know, of like hookah. I would imagine it's a pleasurable experience, you know. I've never
Bar popcorn.
With Crunch Bar popcorn, it might be canceling out, net effects there with that one. But I think this is a great idea. Herbal molasses-based mix, protein, creatine. Inhale your creatine. Everybody's mixing it in the drink now. Why not inhale it? Why not inhale your protein? Huh?
Throw caffeine in there while you're at it. Throw caffeine in there. Come on.
I mean, they got pre-workout. It's
Put more.
Pre and post chill vibes. After workout. I think this is actually a great idea.
This will rip.
I think it's going to rip. I think it's going to rip. Whichever one comes to Austin, Texas first, I am happy to be a visitor. Next, Costco hot dog bourbon. Yes, it does actually exist. It is not a joke. The rare character bourbon bottles were sold for $86 or about $52 hot dog combos plus tax. Costco pays homage to its beloved hot dog with limited edition bourbon. Now, this one got a lot more views, but this specific tweet that I pulled, 19K, but this one was all over the internet. I think very interesting. I wonder if it actually tastes like hot dog for $86 though. Pretty steep, maybe worth it for a try though. Your thoughts?
Collector's edition right here. 5 years from now, you're going to sell this bad boy for $1,000. I can promise you that.
It's going to be what's the is it Pappy Van Winkle? What's the one that's
Pappy Van Winkle, Basil Hayden, Costco hot dog.
Costco hot dog.
That's the top three.
That's the top three.
Maybe throw you Johnny Walker Black Label in there. Maybe.
Just keep it and then sell it for $5,000 in a few years. Just the way people buy Lego sets and sell them for a whole lot later. Get you some Costco hot dog bourbon. Keep that baby in your back pocket. Last coming to us here is Top Ramen and Butterfinger, baby. Your noodles just got the ultimate upgrade. This comes to us from Butterfinger. Butterfinger and We Are Top Ramen is dropping a new collab complete with a peanut buttery glaze and real Butterfinger pieces. Get ready because your taste buds will never be the same. Dancing emoji. Your thoughts on this one, Colin?
Look, there's a lot of things that Fat Boy Colin will eat. There's a lot. This is not one of those things. Okay. I know where to draw the line. This is not it. I refuse.
Believe it or not, there is a built-in audience for this. It already exists. It does. Okay. I have eaten, you may not be aware of this, but cold noodle, peanut buttery, cold noodle like dish. It is a thing. It does exist already. There is a built-in market for ramen noodles and peanut butter. And now Butterfinger's just coming out on top and saying we're going to sprinkle some of those delicious bits from the Butterfinger bar. I think this one is going to land, and it's going to land really well. I think people are going to dig this a lot. For a specific market, I think they are going to really dig this. I'm telling you. And
that's crazy.
I'll say this, in Thai food, they've always got like the peanut butter dip. Like it's a thing. It's a thing. There's like a noodle peanut butter synergy that already exists in the world. This is just like taking it one more step.
This is crazy that you're going to sit here and defend that.
Yeah.
When literally Crunch Bar popcorn sounds 50 million times better. 50 million times better. I could kill an extra large Crunch Bar popcorn tub.
It's just too sweet. It's too sweet.
No, dude, it's just sweet enough. Are you kidding me?
It's gonna
Give me my protein hookah, Crunch Bar popcorn, protein hookah, Crunch bar popcorn. That's
I'll
my
take
weekend.
I'll take the protein hookah today. I mean, if
I'll take
anybody,
it today.
you know, where's Dad? What's he doing? He's sitting in his chair, burning down protein, baby, just straight into the system. I'll take it.
That's Dan McCormick and Create's next new SKU is protein.
Yeah. Hey, prediction announced March 31st, 2026. The next Dan McCormick maybe that's why they raised the money. Maybe that's why they raised the money.
Golly.
Is for the hookah creatine lounges that are to come. That one's going to be interesting to watch. To watch. Absurdity equals virality. Many thanks to our illustrious guests that joined us today. Chris Geiss of Seguno, absolute sauce. We need to drop his link to go get your codes checked. How at risk are you? We will do that on the timeline. Number 2, our guy from Reef that brought in some foundational pieces that honestly I was not considering on CRO. Very helpful. And then lastly, Adil doing some interesting things with content that I think is very appropriate that we should all consider inside of our space, of course, for us, but also on the brand side. I think very interesting. Become your own media company. Isaac has been saying it. Isaac, formerly of Mini Katana, now of Canpie. It's Canpie, isn't it? Canpie Candy. Yeah, Canpie Candy and many other things. Many thanks to Incense, Seguno, Postscript, and AMP for making this show possible. And thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. More guests, absurd products, playbooks, and things to come. We'll catch you on the other side.